Hello everyone and welcome to the HobbyGuard. If my setting as well as myself look and hear different today, it is because I will be trying something new this day. I am running tests to film, maybe eventually live stream videos on my desk while I'm working on my miniatures, painting, assembling, kit bashing, whatever it is. And as I was ready to do that, I thought, okay, to hell with it. I'll make the intro for the video here. I figured this would be a good way of making the video where it's just a test run, if you will, because very few people are watching my videos anyways as it is. So, just a test run of how this would work. So I apologize ahead of time for the bad quality, but that does not mean that I don't want to be doing something interesting here, because let me just make sure I don't show my address on camera. Here. This is what we'll be doing today. You can barely tell, I suppose, because it's got some tape on top of it. But this is the Iron Morlock from Major Minis. This is the miniature that both Major Kill and Remembrancer made together, so that Major Kill could help Remembrancer when the whole AI drama tagging happened on YouTube. Very old story at this point, but also very outrageous story. I don't usually consume or give Major Kill any money for his content, but I do appreciate when he goes out of his way to support the community like that. He puts his money to where his mouth was, so to speak. So I certainly appreciate that, and I value that. And 50% of all the earnings from this miniature went to the Remembrancer who needed the money, and that's mainly what I wanted to do. To help him out, and help also Major Kill out for going through the trouble of helping him out, as I saw very few people with the means to do the same thing that were actually doing it. So yeah, I got this miniature way back. This was a limited time miniature. I think it ended up in March. They stopped selling it back in March, so I figured it would also be a good sort of first experience and test of my new setup. This side microphone, usually I'm using this microphone here, by the way, which I believe is a lot better, but yeah, this side little mic that I have might get us through. And as well as making a review of Major Minis, as this is my first Major Minis ever, and if this turns out to look incredibly amazing, I might consider getting more Major Minis in the future. Who knows? I do like his range of models for the most part. He's got some cool stuff. I just, out of principle, haven't really spent before this one. I'd never bought those. So yeah, it'll be a good review. I'll see if I change my mind a bit about his miniatures or anyone else's minds. And with that being said, before we begin, just any suggestions for how to make this better. Again, this is just a test, so let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoy the video now. I'm just having a bit of trouble finding the right angle for the camera to focus the miniature well enough. Unfortunately, the closer it is, the worse it looks, and yeah, for the life of me I couldn't figure out how to change the focus settings. Mind you, I'm working on a budget here, and this camera isn't too expensive, although it's expensive for me. Anyways, this is, by the way, my Deathwatch Iron Hands, my only other Iron Hands miniature so far, because I do like my Iron Hands. But here is the fabled Major Kill miniature. It had an amazing box. I had to put some tape on it because I was moving and I wanted to keep it from opening on the road. So yeah, this came didn't come quite like that. It was it had these little puffs things all around it. So I hope it didn't break. I've never gotten it out of this bag, but yeah, that's how it comes. Just a good chunk of plastic. You can tell obviously the type of 3D printer that they have, and I gotta say, right off of the box, the detail on these, I'm not sure whether you can tell on screen, but the detail, just even seeing it through the back here, it looks very, very cool. I'm dying to put it together. And there are some instructions here apparently. It says scan here to see build instructions for your Major Mini. And then there's a little message that I just noticed for the first time. Cheers for supporting Major Minis. Oh, this is a message from Major Kill. Should I do a Major Kill impression? I don't think I can. I can barely speak like regular English, much less criminal English. We hope you enjoy building and painting your model just as much as we did producing it. We'd love to get some photos of it when you finish painting. We can even feature them on our Instagram. If you are keen, keep an eye on the website for new mini releases. We are always bringing out new ones, and with free shipping available. It's easy to get a few extra to build your collection. Cheers! Major. I think that was so bad. I think I sounded more like Auspex Tactics, that's the one. Anyways, let's go ahead and scan this thingy here and see what it's about. Ah, there he is. The Iron Morlock. Okay, well, it seems straightforward enough. So next I'll just get to it and start assembling the miniature. I'll start by cleaning it off, obviously. And I'll comment if there's something worth commenting on. All the while, I'll be listening to the Remembrancer's video on Cardan's Tronos, who obviously has nothing to do with this miniature. He's an entirely different character, clearly. However, I just really like this video. So yeah, I'll be listening to that while I start cleaning this off. This must just be me being a noob or too scared to like just right out crack all the little branches here holding the base together, or these big chunks together. But because I've seen people do both things, right? Like sometimes they'll just crack them open, sometimes they'll just cut them out. But yeah, this is kind of a pain because I'm not too sure how hard it would be to actually damage the miniature, the base, if I just rip it out. This axe is amazing. I almost wish I had kind of like kit bashed it onto this Deathwatch miniature I got here. Oh, that would have looked so much cooler. That would have been sick, man. Can you imagine that I buy this miniature just for the axe? I gotta admit, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to clean all this stuff later on. Like every time I cut those things, they just fly everywhere. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to clean the carpet. But if I just try to rip it from there, I damage the model a bit. Nothing crazy, it's just annoying. Alright, lucky for me, I'm almost done, it seems. It's got some damage in the back there, unfortunately, from how I ripped it. I just don't have all weekend to snip one by one. And some damage at the back of the foot as well, unfortunately. Lucky for me, none of those are terribly obvious. It's frustrating because I love the detail on the torso, but it's definitely gonna be, it's like hyper detailed, but there's also gonna be a lot of damage once I'm done scraping off all the little remains from those branches there. You can't really tell very well with the miniature unprimed or unpainted, but I'm holding the right arm here, and underneath the armor it's got a ton of like cabling and detail of like cyber prostheses. It is incredibly detailed, and to the point that it's kind of a waste of time, because very few people have the skill to actually paint all those. Again, you can't really see, but it's full of cables, buttons, freaking hoses in there, screws. The detail is surprisingly good. I will say, so far, this miniature is not even like assembled or anything, but so far, I mean, that clearly goes in there, right? Like, that's just the torso. The legs look perhaps not far apart enough or not long enough. It's almost like the legs are a bit too short. That makes sense. That's just probably an effect from the big Terminator armor, but it's not something that you see in other Terminator miniatures. So I can tell the proportions are a bit funny. Not a deal breaker for me though. Another personal preference thing, this varies, but I really don't like models where the weapon is like held in two hands, because I always have a hard time getting the right distance, even if I do it where I think it makes the most sense. But anyways, so I just noticed actually like there are layers of the miniature that are internally broken or hollow. For example, I applied some glue on the slot for the arm, and the glue started coming out inside the torso. So that made me realize, along with looking at some other areas of the model, that a lot of it is actually just hollow. And also some of the layers, for example the chainmail here, you can truly tell on camera because it's so small, so tiny, such a small detail that it hardly matters at all, to be honest with you. But it broke off. It's falling apart. I love these big shoulder pads for the Terminator armor. It reminds me of like the old Horsehery Sierra Cataphracti Terminator, I think they were called. But in terms of what I was saying regarding the actual like anatomic proportions of the model, it really makes the leg look a lot shorter. It really affects how short the legs actually look. Maybe if they were like farther apart, like not so close together, this wouldn't look so bad. Because now he just looks like one of the cholos that have very long, very wide shorts. Very long shorts, if that makes sense, but very wide and long shorts. You know the ones I'm talking about. Like they're still shorts, but they're just long shorts. Like so far from what I can tell, that's the only thing about this miniature that I don't really like. It's just the bottom half of the proportions. The design is great, even in the bottom half. The detail. It's just the proportions that really are grinding my gears so far. It might look better once I paint it, you know. Realistically, seldom have my painting skills made a model look better than worse. But it is what it is. And now I'm choosing whether to put the Terminator helmet head on or the unhelmeted head on. Just personally, I do like 80-20 in terms of helmeted versus unhelmeted options. So like 80% of my miniatures will have a helmet, and maybe 20 won't. When it comes to my Dark Angels, I try to give them hoods when it's pertinent, right? When it makes sense that a certain character will be part of the inner circle, I try to give them a cool looking hood. But yeah, for this one it's kind of a hard choice, not gonna lie, because both are pretty cool. I think I'll go with unhelmeted because the top half is already bulky enough compared to the bottom one, and I don't want to make it that much bulkier. But also this Terminator head, this particular one, doesn't look extremely Iron Hands-ish. Just looks like a regular Terminator head with some augmentations. So I think unhelmeted, is gonna be okay. So let me just open up my library of miniatures here real quick, see if there's anything we can use. I'll make that look better. Alright, so looks like I found some scrolls here that I might be able to use. Scrolls are like one on each side. Don't think it does enough for the model though to make it look more balanced. Again, I kind of want... I just think it's a proportions issue. Again, those legs seem too short and it's driving me crazy because the rest of the model is amazing. It's certainly nowhere near enough. I don't like the fact that it's like so low. But yeah, you can see here in the figure, he looks way too tall and way too thin. Like his waist looks way too thin. So maybe just another scroll. How about that? Again, I feel bad. I didn't want to use these scrolls for these, but no, just an extra scroll didn't hurt anyone. Yep, that's certainly looking better, at least to my eyes. You can't barely see it on the camera, unfortunately, but it just adds a bit more weight to the bottom half of the miniature. You just gotta make sure that stays there because it's moving around too much. Quite a bit more. I really like the effort I went into this miniature. Unfortunately, there is some damage there from my trouble when I was breaking it free from the sprue, but I don't hate it. And those scrolls to the side, I mean, it's not much, but it really does help kind of make it feel less top heavy, if you will. Alright, and there it is, all dry brushed. I'm obviously not done painting it, and I don't think I will be today, but just a bit of dry brushing to see if that'll help pop the detail out a bit more. Me personally, I really like it. I think it does look quite a bit better with those changes that I made. Small as they might be, these changes for the... oh, a bit too much paint in there. These changes for the scrolls on the side, I really think that's gonna help a lot with the balance of the model once I'm done painting it. And I don't know if I'll paint it, like finish painting it anytime soon, to be honest, so let me know in the comments down below. I'm an attention seeker, if you will, so I will do it for views, obviously. I did buy this model like out of wanting to paint it partly, right? I of course wanted to support the Remembrancer, but I'm also an Iron Hands fan, and this was my second Iron Hands model, if you will, right next to my first right there. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to paint this sooner, to move it up quite a bit in my list of miniatures that I gotta paint. I think the very next ones that I actually wanted to finish painting were in fact these, my kill team my Deathwatch kill teams rather. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see that as well. I did, as you can see, quite a bit of kit bashing with all of them. So yeah, that was a lot of effort, and I would love to share some of that as well as the process of me painting them. So let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see that, as well as any other advice for this type of test that I am running here. I would love to know more, whether you liked it, if you have any suggestions of what can be better, how was the audio, how was the video. Of course I will review this myself, this was just a test, and I would also like to know your opinions on Major Kill's miniatures, and if you've ever bought them, if you are interested in buying them, if this video gave you any ideas or pushed you one way or the other as to your opinion of their quality. Finally, this wasn't necessarily a review, but finally I will say, like, the quality, it's obviously not... there's quite a bit of issues with this sort of quality without having like a very, very powerful industry of 3D printing behind you. So I guess I understand finally why Major Kill does only mostly like limited time miniatures, because it's gotta be really hard. And it's obviously not up to the standards of quality of Games Workshop in terms of the actual miniature itself once it's printed, but the quality of the model is outstanding. I've complained a lot about the proportions here, but it doesn't really matter. Like, of course it matters, but just the sheer amount of quality that you have in some other parts, like stuff that you can't barely see, kind of just lets you know, like, yeah, whoever modeled these is capable of outstanding thing. I don't know a lot about modeling, but I can only assume. So with that being said, thanks for coming, thanks for watching, as always, Ad Astra, and remember, there are no female custodies.